The professor laughed before he even finished writing the problem. Whoever solves this gets an automatic A for the semester. Don't worry, nobody solved it in 15 years. He turned around to grab his coffee, and that's when he saw the janitor standing at the board, chalk in hand, already 3 lines into the solution. The room went dead silent. What happened next would change everything. Professor Whitmore was a legend at Brentwood University, brilliant, but known for being cold. He'd written that problem himself, years ago, as a joke. A theoretical proof so complex that even his graduate students gave up after a few attempts. He wrote it on the board at the start of every advanced calculus class, just to humble his students. It was tradition. Nobody ever got close. That morning, like every morning, an older man in a gray uniform was quietly emptying trash bins along the back wall while students filed in. His name was Walter. He'd been working at the university for almost 8 years. Most students didn't notice him. He was just there, part of the background. Quiet, polite, always nodding politely if someone said good morning. Walter had a routine: empty the bins, wipe the boards from the night before, refill the chalk trays and move to the next room. He'd done it 1,000 times. But that morning, something was different. As Professor Whitmore wrote out the problem, the same one he wrote every semester, Walter paused. He stood there, broom in hand, staring at the board. His eyes moved slowly across the equations, lingering on certain symbols. A student named Priya noticed him staring. She leaned over to her friend and whispered, "Why's the janitor looking at that like he's reading a menu?" Her friend shrugged. Maybe he's just zoning out. But Walter wasn't zoning out. His lips moved slightly, like he was working something out in his head. Then, almost like muscle memory, he set the broom against the wall, picked up a piece of chalk from the tray he'd just refilled and stepped toward the board. The room went quiet immediately. A few students laughed nervously, assuming it was a joke. Sir? That board's for the professor," one student said. Walter didn't answer. He just started writing. Professor Whitmore turned around from his desk, expecting to see a student messing around. Instead, he saw the janitor calm, focused, writing out a chain of equations in clean, precise handwriting. Whitmore opened his mouth to say something sharp, but the words caught in his throat. Because what Walter was writing was correct. Whitmore stepped closer, squinting at the board. Line by line, Walter worked through the proof substitutions, transformations, steps that even some PhD students in the room didn't fully understand. The chalk scratched steadily against the board. No hesitation. No second guessing. The room was completely silent now. Even the students on their phones had looked up. After about 4 minutes, Walter reached the final line. He wrote the closing statement, underlined it twice, and set the chalk down gently in the tray. Then, he turned around, picked up his broom like nothing had happened, and said quietly, "Sorry. Force of habit." He walked toward the door. "Wait," Whitmore's voice cracked slightly. "Wait, hold on." Walter stopped, broom in hand, looking almost embarrassed. Whitmore walked up to the board slowly, running his finger along the equations, double-checking every step. His hands were shaking slightly. He turned to face the class, then back at Walter. This is correct," Whitmore said, his voice barely above a whisper. "This is the proof. This is actually the proof." A murmur rippled through the room. Priya leaned forward in her seat, eyes wide. "Sir," Whitmore said, turning fully to face Walter now, "where did you learn this?" Walter shifted uncomfortably, glancing at the broom in his hands like he wished he could disappear behind it. I used to teach. A long time ago." "Teach where?" Whitmore asked. Walter hesitated. Briefly, mathematics department. About 20 years ago." The room erupted into whispers. Whitmore held up a hand, silencing them, his eyes never leaving Walter's face. "What happened?" Whitmore asked gently. Walter's eyes dropped to the floor. "My wife got sick. Really sick. I left my position to take care of her hospital bills, treatments, everything. By the time she passed, I'd been out of academia for years. Nobody wants to hire a 50-year-old professor with an 8-year gap on his resume." He gave a small, tired smile. So I found work here. It's honest work. Keeps the lights on. The room was completely still. A few students had tears in their eyes. Whitmore stared at him for a long moment, something shifting behind his expression, guilt, maybe, or recognition of how easily brilliant people get overlooked when life knocks them down. Walter, Whitmore said slowly, do you know how long I've been writing that problem on the board? Walter shook his head. 15 years. 15 years, and not one student, not one graduate assistant, not one visiting professor has ever solved it completely. And you just did it in 4 minutes. While holding a broom. Walter gave a small, humble shrug. I had a lot of time to think, working nights. Numbers were good company. Whitmore turned to the class, then back to Walter. Something had clearly changed in him. The cold, dismissive professor everyone knew seemed to soften. Just slightly. Walter, he said, would you ever consider teaching again? Even just guest lectures. Office hours. The students could learn more from you in an afternoon than most of them learn in a semester. Walter blinked, clearly caught off guard. I don't know if that's really I'm serious, Whitmore said, and for the first time, his voice carried real warmth. You don't have to decide right now. But the offer's there. A real offer. Priya, still wide-eyed, spoke up softly. Please say yes. That was incredible. A few other students nodded, smiling. Walter looked around the room at the young faces watching him. Not with pity, but with genuine respect. Something he hadn't felt in a long, long time. He looked down at the broom in his hands, then back up at the board, at the equations he'd just solved without even thinking twice. Maybe, Walter said quietly, a small smile forming. Maybe I could try. Word spread quickly across campus. By the next week, Walter wasn't just emptying trash bins anymore, he was holding optional study sessions twice a week, helping struggling students work through problems most professors wouldn't even attempt to explain. Whitmore sat in on a few of those sessions himself, just to listen. Sometimes the people we walk past every day, the ones who clean our classrooms, hold doors open, or quietly do the jobs nobody notices, are carrying more wisdom, more history, and more brilliance than we could ever imagine. Walter never asked for recognition. He never needed it. But sometimes, all it takes is one moment, one piece of chalk. One solved equation for the world to finally see what was right in front of it all along. If this story moved you, remember, never underestimate someone based on the job they're doing. You never know what they're truly capable of.